simple and intimate. For inventory/item management, RE0 goes hard again, RE6 goes limp. And lastly, for decision making, RE3 leads them all, with, you guessed it, RE6 flatlining. Every game's formula will be compared within this framework. I'll go into detail with my thoughts on each element for each game, going in order for
2. I wouldn't rate it a 1. I mean, if we're talking overall, especially compared to other hard parts, but I would say in the Resident Evil series, it's
ways of
I
handling
like
various
0.
elements.
I still need to
exploration
finish
value
0,
seems to
dude.
be a mix of
That's
remake
crazy.
and
I
Veronica.
really... I get it, but it's so annoying that there's no chest where you can leave all your stuff. Like, I find that
Supply of
immaculately
resources.
annoying. I mean, that's... No, Resident Evil 6 is the most actiony Resident Evil next to, like, 5. It's not even a contest. Third, I'd have to give Revelations 2's raid mode. You're like, yeah, I like how you always say that. It just goes to show you why that one's, like, one of the worst REs of all time. Yet it's also one of the best. It's very weird. I'm just fucking like, dude, there's a reason we all say 6 is ass. And honestly, Resident Evil outside of Revelations 2 has not been good. Like, RE after 5 just went super downhill. The reimaginings are pretty good. I'd say they're a return to form, but...
Ayo, people,
yeah,
with the
no,
first 6
RE6
main
should be
Resi
an
games all
indicator
sharing
of
a
how
concrete gameplay
not...
formula while shifting
Like,
it around
the
to do
Resident Evil
something
series hasn't
unique.
really
Now we
truly
move on to
returned
the
to what it
post-code
used to be.
Veronica
That's the real
games,
problem.
everything from the methodical action of 4
We've gotten
in
better
Revelations
since 6,
2
sure.
to the crazy
But have we
set
gone back
pieces
to what it
of
used to be?
6,
No,
all the way
not
to the
really.
intimate serving every game and how they
But on
differ
top of
and
the
what
one
they
thing
all
he's not
focus
covering is the
For a brief
zombies.
refresher, what makes up the Resident Evil formula
That's something, in my
is
opinion, that
exploration
really
value,
value. I
combat
value in
complexity
Resident
on
Evil
Octane, intricate areas with treasure and resources hidden all
games.
over, with
That
very
one's just
fast-paced
a
progression.
fucking
Some of
classic,
RE5's
bro.
maps are even, but like stated before,
Like,
because of
I
how you're
both like
forced
and
to
hate
use the partner
RE5's
to avoid
inventory
frustration,
management.
the only management
4
with
was
them involves
definitely peak.
offloading all your healing and unused ammo or grenades onto them. Compared to
6 could have been
RE4,
so much
inventory
better.
space is way items and resources.
It's
The
weird
game
how
really encourages and rewards
this game
keeping
was a
note of locked
return
doors
to
or points of
form
interest you can't
after
interact
4 and
with yet to
5.
come back later to find some game to a 3.
It's
For
weird.
combat
I don't know.
complexity
I feel like
on
it's
Octane,
had
the meat of
stronger
the game
exploration
features
than
what
5.
I consider RE3's base
Very
combat
weird.
mechanics, but clean it
I
up,
don't
you
know,
won't
but
know
I'm
what
okay
it
with
is,
that.
but going
Like, it's
to
kind
a
of
workbench will
annoying,
reveal
like,
what its effect is and what guns it can be. Relatively simple combat.
Weird how
can
Revelations
work in
combine
third
what,
person.
like, the
It's
OG
just
and
a
the
shame
new
it
RE
seemed to
games do, but
completely skimp
perfectly.
out on the item management side, map layouts and sequences. The overwhelming
What
majority of
exploration
the
value?
game is extremely run out of ammo in RE6, so it's got that going for it. But
Yeah, that
the
is
new skill
very
points
weird.
really aren't enough to motivate searching every nook and cranny.
Like, man, the
We'll go into
inventory
that system
management in that
a little
game
bit.
is just
And the
so
few key items
shit.
there are, combat complexity and Octane, this is the basket RE6 puts all of its eggs into. The
Yeah.
base mechanics have been massively overhauled, such
Too
that
bad
the
the story
limitations
doesn't
Resi's
really
combat has always
supplement it
had has
very
been
good,
basically
like,
lifted.
play
You're
Mercenaries.
so unchained with everything
Don't play
you can
the
do
like.
in
Look
this
at how
game.
constricted
From
that
moving while
map is,
shooting,
bro. It
albeit
is not built
slowly,
for the
to
fluidity of
multiple
RE6
evasions and agility
combat.
move and healing, meaning learning the melee and evasion system is really important, in which you also
bad
have
it
to
doesn't
keep
do a
track
good job
of the new
of
stamina bar,
teaching you that.
lest you be caught up shit creek without a paddle. It's honestly really fun. Slash item management, it's just absent. Of having a purely combat-centric game.
No, that's
instead,
stupid.
it
I hate
seems to
that
fill
shit
the
when there's
void those
fucking
elements
bodies on the
left
floor
with
and you trip
shallow
on them.
action set pieces.
Like, I would say as a single
Hopefully
player,
we can lighten things up
absolutely.
as we move on to Resident Evil Revelations 2.
One
For
of the
exploration
best
value, we
RE
return to
games
a
of all
similar map layout style
time.
as RE4. An overall streamlined progression punctuated
If
by
that bitch
large
don't get a
intricate
5 in
areas.
everything, I'm a
Of course,
bust.
there are games that
Story-wise,
can
I'd
be
rate it
activated
a
at
3
any
or a
time.
4,
However,
but
the
like
simple
because of
platform RE6
Revelations,
and
you gotta
requires
put that
some
bitch at
reflexes
5.
and reading of the gameplay. I guess these issues only really crop up if you play the game over and over. 7 probably has some of the least replay value out of any Resi game.
My boy, he said it. He fucking said it. Thank you, brother.
So we'll give this a 3. So Resident Evil.
Nah, not even. Exploration, give it a 2 or 1. Combat complexity, 2 or 1. Inventory management, yeah, give it a 3. Decision making? What decision making? That's a Juan. Yeah, no, 6 bad, 7 bad. My man, he needs to put Revelations higher, bro. You capping. Like, you capping on that one, dude. Well, that shit needs to go. Hey. He said inventory. Nah, dude, I had way more inventory management in Revelations 2 than fucking 7, bro. You capping on that one. Yeah, why is the inventory management not existed in 1? I'm not even gonna cap on that one. Same with 6, but hey. Nah, bro, that's a 4, bro. He capping on that. 3? No, that's a 4, dude. And even with 6, you gotta give that a 2, bro, because you have to actually pay attention. Decision making, yeah, it could be a 2 at best. I'd say this is 2-2 exploration. Yeah, that's a 1. We can keep that out of 1. That's like 1, 5, 2, 2. Compared to this one's, well, we'll see best 2, 2, 2, 2. Right? Yeah, no, Resident Evil 7 is like a 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. It is not like I would Inventory management really isn't that much. It's fairly simple. It's that's my take. Get down to a 2. I think the inventory management is way too high. I inventory manage more in 2 than I ever did 7, bro. Like, I forgot there even is inventory management. I always remember this inventory management in this bitch.
Resident Evil games stack up? Well, going from 4 to 6, there was a laser focus on combat, with varying degrees of competency or understanding of making it meaningful while staying true to the series, while Revelations 1 and 2 were all about trying to find a middle ground between the survival horror and action focused games while adding some new ideas and complexities of their own, then capping it off with 7 and RE2 returning to the classic gameplay structure in lower octane, kinda petering with 7, but hitting the nail on the head with RE2
Yeah, I agree with this. This one I don't even disagree with. I 100%
Resident
agree
Evil
with
formula.
that. Yeah, that's why I think I like the reimaginings. They feel very true to the OGs for sure. Far more than 7 does. Far more than 7 in my opinion. I want to see how... And notice that Revelations 2 is very close to 5 and 4, and I really like those two. Like, heck, fucking the reimaginings aren't far off from 4 and 5. The main thing is the things that they don't focus as much, they focus on more, and then they dial down the combat. Like, I think that's fine. I think, in my opinion, if you want to do it, follow what Revelations 2, 4, 5, and the reimaginings do. This is the formula I want for and these are my favorite ones for sure. So, not that I don't like these, right? So if you really truly want to follow the RE formula, your combat has to be anywhere from like a 3. It could go from 1 to 5 in my opinion to have a good RE game. I mean, just look at fucking Revelations, right? I feel like you have to at least have some good exploration. This, and like I said, look at this one. That's like a 3. I think that is higher. I think, to me, your inventory has to be higher than 3, bro. This shit, like, they're capping, bro. This shit's a 2. That's a goddamn 2. That's a 2, bro. They're tripping. I think a good RE inventory management should at least be... See, like, look at the inventory management for all the OGs, and then notice that it kind of died down with 5. Like, 5, it still definitely had it. Like, to me, the whole restart strat just never applied to me. Like, the lowest I would give it is, like, a 2 for sure. But it'd be, like, a hard 2. And then when they say decision-making, yeah, I think decision-making is really... They say, I don't know. I think because of the combat, the decision-making is still high. So I rank this a bit higher, that a bit higher. But RE5 is literally better than 4 in every single way. Like I said, minus they skip some elements, right? 6 is just trash. 7 is also just trash. It's like this bar, except its combat isn't even that high, so that shit went fucking down. Their imaginings are solid. They're solid. They're a lot closer to what this is, right? The combat's a 2.
As long as it's an engaging, well-designed game and keeps that Resi tone and charm, I'll be happy. Thanks for watching. Consider supporting
7
me on
doesn't
Patreon
have that.
to
That's
make more
its
stuff like
biggest
this,
problem. It does
as
not
well.
have that charm, bro. Again, something he never mentioned was the zombies. 7 and Village have the weakest zombie variety out of all of them. Like, the combat is too basic, bro. Fighting the zombies in there is... Village did a much better job. And another thing, replay value. All of these Resident Evils have mad replay value. 7 does not. Like, at all.
End of the video, we'll
He
see
just sold
which
me an
one
RE6.
arbitrarily rates higher in my completely... I used to play the shit out of those escape the room flash games, and this is
Oh my
essentially
cap, I
the
like
most
that
HD
segment too,
version
but
of
that
those
did not
ever
feel
made. It's
Resident Evil.
great. My experience with 6, my dick had grown 5 inches, so now it's 5 inches. This is a visceral experience. Explosions can be fit into the Earth's atmosphere. At a base level, RE7 really does do a good job of bringing back...
The only good part of that whole bitch was
Every
the basement.
step feels...
Dude, RE7
When
gives
was
me
the
a
last time
headache.
you heard a game...
Dude,
Leash on that puppy.
voice
These
acting's
actors
god
are
tier.
so dedicated to these larger-than-life characters that they sell even the cheesiest of lines.
Years. Or like an ex-girlfriend. Guy doesn't know when to quit.
See, and that's why I like 6 way more.
Content.
Let's start with Hazard was around 8 hours, whereas my time with RE6
Oh, no.
totaled to about 16 hours.
No.
Double the time, and I still haven't even started the final campaign. Because it's apparently the worst.
It
Objectively
is. It
speaking,
is.
RE start out with all your weapons, gadgets, and abilities unlocked from the get-go, and that's about it. All games should have this, by the way. RE7, though,
thank you,
RE7
for
goes
real.
above Steps Redfield and Leon,
Thanks.
the immovable bull Kennedy. That being said, let's move on to RE6's game. A bunch of multiplayer modes that,
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun. But they're dead.
And no, the one with the big spooky arm does not count as a new enemy. There are just 3. Compare the 7 and or 3 of Biohazard to the 84 of Resident Evil 6.
Woo!
There's a whole goddamn menu for these things. It's like the most fucked up game of Pokemon. Sure, in the Resident Evil series has always been
I want to say
worthy of
6 wins, but like,
praise.
with
This
6's
series is
level
built
design
on
isn't
its
that
iconic
great.
moments and locations, and for those moments of genuine, memorable fright to stick, you
I could
need
actually
good
see
level
if they
design.
gave it
But
to
until
fucking
RE7,
7.
none of the games I've played in the series
But
have really are.
I don't
The
like
final
both of their
category is
stories.
comparison, and currently it's all
I
tied
think
up.
they're
I'm gonna
both
go ahead and
god-awful.
break that to under 37 as he searches for his Muppet-ass looking girlfriend, Mia. I obviously can't go into the detailed stuff, but I feel like it never distanced itself from the series as much as it should have for what it was trying to do. If you're gonna reboot this series, actually reboot it. The second I read a magazine that mentions fucking Raccoon City, I immediately remember that this takes place in the same universe in which a man got into a fist fight with a boulder
Right?
and won. The immersion is broken. And okay, can we talk about Chris Redfield real quick? Resident Evil 6's story made me give a fuck about Chris Redfield. That man's biceps are big, but his heart is bigger. Chris's campaign in RE6 is a redemption story, and it's a damn good one at that.
Yeah,
Sure,
6's
might sound
campaign
Resident
was
Evil
the
7,
best
the
thing
dialogue
about
is
RE6.
9 out of 10 times.
Leave my boulder
but
alone.
Unlike RE7, this game completely embraces the hamminess and absurdity in every story beat. It's just easier to swallow when it's not all so serious.
Yep.
I kept wondering if they were gonna explain how the fuck Zoe just stapled Ethan's hand back on because of the logical, serious tone they set. But nah, I guess you can just staple a hand back on and it fucking and absurd nonsense that Resident Evil is known for
Right.
better than the 7th game. I mentioned the callbacks that Biohazard makes to the old RE games earlier, and none of those callbacks are more significant than the final moments of the game. It's the moment you know is coming. Oh man, is that him? Is that my main man right there? Pop that helmet off, Chrissy boy. Oh no! Chris went from a bona fide T-bone
Dude, when I
man
first seen that, I was like, wait, that's supposed to be Chris?
to a little beanhead having motherfucker. He just looks wrong. I
Blackhead.
reject hashtag Chris
I
Beanfield.
defeated
Give
many
me back the
boulders
boulder
after seeing
biceps.
Chris
Give me
do
the
it,
meaty-
so
And
leave
he did
him
it, and he
alone.
did it perfect. Like when you play 7, you don't believe that it's in the Resident Evil universe, and then the second they remind you, oh, it's like the game is like, no, remember, we're
Rock
Resident Evil, we're
MEA.
Resident Evil.
Ha ha ha, they keep
Heavy
messing him
hero
up.
that I know and love.
They do.
Speaking of Beanfield's beanie head, why does every human being look like shit in this game?
Yeah, dude, I don't think the RE engine looks good for people.
Ugh, put that shit away. How the fuck does a 5-year-old game have better facial animation than a 2017 AAA release? Resident Evil 7
Rock
to
MEA.
me was incredibly
7 is
predictable
trash.
because I felt like I'd
Yeah.
seen it all before.
Good job, Rock.
Despite
You
the
belong in this
oppressive
chat.
People love it because of the characters and that classic Japanese as fuck Resident Evil personality. And to
Right.
me,
See, that's literally why people like Resident Evil, and it does have a pretty good like back deep lore story, but like that's not the forefront. Like the forefront is literally the characters. Like, come on, bro, why do you think no one's going cosplaying as Ethan? No, bitch, I'm going to cosplay as Chris.
Me, what makes a game
I
so
actually like this
horror?
inconsistent
Waste
anime.
original direction.
Yeah,
so much
eight's-
so that if
eight's
Resident
just
Evil
better
wasn't in the
garbage than
title,
7.
you'd be forgiven for not even realizing
Blackhead.
they're from the same
I'm
franchise.
cosplaying
Then
as
once
the
franchise
boulder.
went
You see, people would get it, dude. Yeah, Village did a lot of better things in the terms of gameplay for sure, but the story's just it's trash, bro. That story's just it is 100% like not Resident Evil. Like it has like this is the problem with the Village and 7. They have elements of RE, but they're not RE, bro. Like they would barely be an RE game. It's not a very good Resident Evil game. It really is. Like the worst RE games is 7, Village, and 6. Like as far as semi-main series, right? But at least, and here's the thing, if I'm gonna not call Resident Evil 7 and Village an RE game, I have to say the same thing for 6. Because it is focusing on the one thing Resident Evil is not known for. On top of that, the only reason why I will call Resident Evil 6 more of a Resident Evil game is like, it's because the story. Like the other dude said, the story is just better. It really is. I just don't like, again, if we're talking like, I hate 6 because its story mode is garbage. It doesn't complement its gameplay, and it's nonsensical as fuck. Like, it has so many plot holes, inconsistencies. You know, like, as an actual story, it's so fucking bad. Like, 7 is slightly better. Slightly better. But here's the difference. Resident Evil 6 at least feels like a Resident Evil story. Resident Evil 7 does not. That's the difference. Like, 6 might have a worse story, but at least you're like, yeah, that's a Resident Evil story. This shit doesn't feel right. Like I said, the dude said it perfect. You see a random thing says, oh, right, this is in the same universe as Resident Evil. Boy, You're constantly reminded that this is the goddamn Resident Evil universe. You're not mad because of it's bad. You're mad because it's bad and it's set in a Resident Evil universe. Same with this one. That's why I don't like. Nah, people are like, wait, here's the difference. I like 6 as a game. 6 is great as a fucking game. 7 is bad as a story and a game. This is just bad as a story. Like I said, I think this chart is whack. This would be 2. That's actually correct. I'm not gonna disagree with that. This bitch has literally won everything but the combat.
Live and present in the
But no, you notice the best ones are also my favorite. These 4 right here: Revelations 2, RE4, 5, and RE2. Like, notice how you see the chart, right? Look at how the chart looks. One thing that I have to agree, inventory management, that should be higher. I think, like, for sure, exploration, I don't know, man. Like, it's crazy. Let's see how he talks about RE5. Like, and again, this should be a 5. Like, if you count raid mode, yo, there's action for days, bro. You capping. This is peak, though. This is peak. On go. That's peak, bro. Like, no RE game really touches 4. That's why I said, like, 5 is one of my personal favorites. Nah, I just don't do what he did. I'd rank it at least a 3 max, but I'd say it's barely a 3. But to me, any good RE game should have at least, like I said, the weakest is like a strong 2. You have to have a 2, but it has to be a strong 2. A strong ass 2. I think 3 is a good point. Decision making has to be at least a 3. You know, like, it's just something that RE has, you know? There's a lot more to it under the hood that just makes it so much more engaging. And the combat doesn't have to be god tier. To me, the combat has to be at least a solid 3. But more importantly, I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Please be Resident Evil in story and have good zombies. Those are 2 things that this guy doesn't cover, and that's why I just don't like 7 and Village that much. Like, dude, I only play... You already know, like, I only play Village because I want them RE points, man. But it's at least more bearable than 7. Like, 7 is so bad, I don't even want to try to platinum it, dude, for the RE points. I'm like, no. Your replay value is weak as fuck. And no, and in that video, that one and the other one, they both said, yeah, Resident Evil 7 has the weakest replay value of any Resident
Rock
Evil.
MEA. The boulder was big, they need to remake it smaller.
Hell no, fuck that. Nah, they need to make it bigger. Bigger.
Wanna fail?
Ooh, 5. That's a classic, baby. You can't touch me with that 5. Did a love 5. I didn't play 5 way
Yeah,
more.
like birds.
Ooh, Revelations.
Where's that other dog? Getting all the smells.
Fuck. The best one is not even on Plus. Bitches. Oh. Fucking streaming it, but why would I do that?
Here somewhere.
And attempting to sell them to militaries across the globe. But then again, nothing in Resident Evil makes a lot of sense unless you deprive yourself of oxygen for a few minutes just before you die. The entire purpose of this game is to lure the STARS Alpha team into the Spencer Mansion and use them as